In this Watch It video, we are going to be learning more about Pygame and how to create the Pygame window and add colors and create different aspects of preparing our Pygame for whatever program we're going to be doing or whatever game we're going to be creating. So the first thing you're going to need to do is open up your Python shell and do a File, New, and that's going to open a new window for you. Do a Save As, and you're going to name that Pygame Window. And you're going to keep this Pygame window and use it as a starting point for any program that you are going to be doing for Pygame. And this will allow you to have the code already written for you. And the only thing you're going to have to change is a few elements of that code so that it works the way you want it to work. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my Pygame window program, and I'm going to type in the different elements. So the first thing I'm putting in here is a comment about imports. And all imports go at the top of your program. And that's the reason I'm putting in this little message just to help you remember where imports go. So you do your import Pygame because you have to import all of the files from the Pygame folder. So you say import Pygame, comma, sys, which is importing some system elements that you need. Then you're going to put in our next section is where we're going to be creating the screen. So this is what we're putting in for that. So we say Pygame dot init, which is initialize. Okay, so we're initializing our Pygame. We're calling that method to initialize our Pygame. So then we say screen equal Pygame dot display, and make sure that you spell everything exactly as you see it on the screen, dot set mode. And this is where we put in the size for our screen. We're going to be using 400 by 400. Now later on we may have a program that I'm going to ask you to do it with a different size window. This is where you change the window size right here where it says screen. So this is a 400 by 400, meaning that I want a window that is 400 pixels across, 400 pixels down. Now I'm going to put in the color of my Pygame window. So you can define a color and make it any color you want, but white is usually the background color of a window. And you know, white is defined with 255, 255, 255. Now each one of these stands for a different color code. So the first one is for red, the second one is green, and the third one is blue. This is our RGB colors. And when I say 255, I am telling it that I want every color within the color scale. So the color scale is 0 through 255. And when I tell it I want every color within that scale, that gives me white. So when I say 255 by 255 by 255, I get the color white. So now I am going to come down here and I'm going to say screen dot fill, and I'm going to pass it my color code. Okay, what I just defined, white. The next thing I'm going to do is the update for the display. So it updates the display. And this is going to be pygame.display.update. And that each one of these is a method. So up here I have pygame.displaySetMode, and it has parentheses, and within it I'm passing it what I want to set the width and the height to. So here I have screen.fill, and I'm passing that the color that I want it to fill with. And then here I have pygame.display.update, and I have a method, my parentheses. So I know that each one of those are methods that I am using to create my window. Now I'm going to say while true, okay, with a colon, for event, make sure you spell everything correctly, in Pygame dot event dot get. Okay, so what we're saying is while I'm using Pygame, I want it, and it's true that I'm using it, go get it. Then I have if event dot type equal Pygame dot QUIT, and QUIT is capitalized for quit. Then I want it to do the method Pygame dot quit sys dot exit, and it'll exit. So now once I have that typed up, I can click on run, and it's going to ask me if I want to save it. Say yes, and then here is my Pygame window. It is a 400 by 400 window. Now, if I want to change the color of my window, say I would like it to be red. To get a red color, remember, this is RGB. So I would want all of my red, none of my green, and none of my blue, and I would pass it to the window. So now if I run this again, it runs, and now I have a red window. If I wanted green, I would say that I wanted none of my red, all of my green, none of my blue, and I would pass it green, run it again. Now I have a green window. And of course, if I want a blue window, that would mean that I have no red, no green, and all of the blue. I could pass that. When I run it again, yes, I want to save it. Now I have my blue window. And that is how we're going to be creating our Pygame windows. So what I need you to do is answer the check for understanding. When you're done with the check for understanding, if you still have any questions, please email me and move on to the next section.